drums, they pierce the sky. In our hearts, brave and bold, freedom's fire will uphold. Children's laughter, lost in fear, parents' cries you'll never hear. We are fighting for their tears, uniting hearts throughout the years. We stand our ground, we won't give in to injustices soaked in sin. Raise your voice for liberty, don't tread on me, don't tread on me.
Brenda used to walk these streets with pride.
All right, everybody, welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I am your host, the CPS Punisher, and I don't know what happened to all the videos there just a few minutes ago, but it's just the man crashing down on us, I guess. So I apologize for that, but we're here, we're in there. We got this chat on the right here, which we all know and we know what to do with. I've got a couple of good people here on the show with me tonight. So we got some big things coming up over the next few days. Don't forget to like, share, do all that good stuff. Don't forget to check out all the other shows that we have on the station. Yeah, so let's. I got some news things that I want to talk about tonight, but first, let's get it on. Let's see what Mister. We got Gunner right here coming out here. Gunner, how you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there.
Yes,
Ready.
sir. Full of pieces
Ready.
out tonight. And we got Brian Lee back here with us. Brian is full of it tonight. He's ready to rock and roll. Look at this guy's like, yes. We got the Daily Forward Project over the weekend. What you got going on, Brian? Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, it's not the weekend. It starts on Monday. It starts on Monday the 7th, and it goes until Friday the 11th. So the 7th through the 11th of April, we're going to be in D.C. for the Family Forward Project's Title IV Reform Rally. Now, on Monday, there's going to be a lot of different things happening inside the Capitol building. So if you want to speak to your legislators and congressmen, this is the time for you to do it. I do believe there's going to be some classes that are going to be given as well on how to speak to your legislators and congressmen. So if you want to definitely come out and learn how to do that, definitely do so. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the big deal situations that's happening. We're going to be on Area 5 of the Capitol building, literally right across the street from Union Station. We're setting up a stage. We're going to have a lot of individuals come out and speak from all across the U.S. We know for a fact that Doge members are going to be at this event. They're going to be listening. They're going to be watching. We also know for a fact that somebody from InfoWars with Alex Jones is going to be there. Whether Alex Jones is going to be there or not, we don't know.
Right.
We just know that somebody from InfoWars is going to be there.
Hell
We
yeah.
got a lot of great speakers. I'll be speaking on day 3 of it on Thursday. I'll be doing. I'm going to bring something special at this event, something that will give encouragement to those that are fighting the system to let them know that it doesn't happen forever. So it's going to be very nice to see. And thanks to Kathleen Arthur, who's been putting this whole event together, is allowing me to do so. But we're also going to be doing a memorial for those who we've lost. I got about 40 to 50 names that I'll be naming off of those who have either passed away from natural causes straight down to suicide.
Right.
That includes parents and children, and also legislators for anyone who knows of somebody that I speak of on a daily basis. But I'll be speaking of veterans, and the person I will be mentioning will be Nancy Schaefer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be great. Let's see here. Carlos Rivera is coming down from New York. James Kelly's coming from New York. We might have Ira Paskowitz. We're still waiting for him to confirm, which will also be speaking on day 3. And for those who don't know who Ira is, he is the well-known sheriff officer down in Florida. And if anybody remembers the Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl from Dr. Phil, that's her father.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes. I'm actually really good friends with him. And I reached out to him and be like, dude, you really need to come to this event. You're a success story. People want to hear that this doesn't last forever. So, hopefully he'll be able to come up. He'll be up here for at least a day or two. We got other speakers. Let me pull that up real quick. Where's my email? Just so I can tell you more of the speakers. My Yahoo. But Connie Rigoli is going to be speaking. Where's it at? There it is. Preview. All right. So, yeah, Connie's going to be speaking. Valerie's going to be speaking. Angela and Rachel. Mark Ludwig's going to be there. We might have Cash Jackson. He might be showing up this week. With everything that's gone on with him over the years, it's hit or miss with him. He doesn't really want to get beat up and thrown back in federal prison again for crime of being emotional.
Right.
But it's going to be a great event. The event starts at 12 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and it goes until roughly about 5 o'clock. We're going to be out there around 9 a.m. setting up the stage, the truss system. I'll have the Nancy Schaefer banners on the sides, like we've done in previous years. And yeah, it's just we're going to have some singers out there. Let's see here. Denise Cox, David Mon. I can't even pronounce his last name. Don't ask me to. But a lot of great speakers. Tracy Cassidy, Terry LaPointe is going to be out there. Robin Lideker is going to be there. And just so many great speakers that are going to be talking about the Title IV aspect. I know some of these are going to be talking about certain parts of Title IV, but that's what this is for. This is the reason why we're having Doge out there, because we know for a fact, thanks to Mark Ludwig, being in contact with Doge and actually have had meetings at the White House with Doge members, that things are looking up. They're definitely looking into Title IV. They're looking into the child support aspect, and they're finding a lot of funds that are just not being used where they should be. And, we know for a fact that all federal funding that's given to the states through Title IV, only 5% actually goes to reunifying our children. So, this is a big issue. Why only 5% of what the states get from federal funding is going to reunification? It doesn't make any sense. And that's the main problem. Where's that money going? Well, we know where it's going. It's going to the pockets of the judges, the attorneys, the guardian ad litems, child support agency themselves. So, this is one thing that needs to be really highly addressed. And that's what this rally is about, is to talk about the child support and the forced adoptions and so forth. So, on Area 5 of the Washington Capitol building, which is right across from Union Station, come out and join us, man. We want as many people to come out and join us as possible for this event. The more, the merrier. There's going to be, tables out there with brochures and, passing out information. And it's just come out and join us. We need as many people as we can get out there. We're expecting a good close to in between 200 to 500 people already. But we know for a fact that there's going to be some legislators out there, watching us, some Congress members out there watching us. And who knows who will actually show up. But we need people to show up. We need to be loud. We need to be clear in our message that the system is not working in the best interests of our children, in which so they claim. So if anybody's got any questions, they can reach out to me through RFIRN's email at rfirnetwork@gmail.com. Again, rfirnetwork@gmail.com. Or if you know me on Facebook, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'll be more than happy to provide a link to the actual event page, which is on Facebook. And, we'll get you some more information.
Yeah, I'm going to put it up right here for us about that too. You have the facebook.com one right here. So put that up for everybody. Check that out. What do you, oh, geez. Right here we are. All right. What do you anticipate the topic? What do you think the topic of these discussions are going to be there this year round? I know you've been there quite a few times. But what do you see? What do you see this time?
Yeah, it's mainly about Title IV.
Yeah.
But there's other aspects of this whole thing, and one thing that I've always spoke about is Nancy Schaefer. She was looking in Title IV, prior to her death. When she did this report. I also talk about veterans, because I am a veteran. I served 8 years in the Marine Corps. So, I speak on how veterans and active duty members are treated within the system. And a lot of people are like, well, how do you know? Again, I am a veteran, so I've had to deal with it firsthand.
Right.
So it's just it amazes me to the amount of people, though, when I'm in like Lyft or Uber or something like that, where, they ask me, well, what do I do for fun? And I'm like, well, I talk about child support and, family law reform and so forth. They're like, oh, really? Yeah. And then they're like, well, what's actually happening? And I tell them, and they're just amazed that, like, we didn't know this was going on. I said, yeah. I said probably about 75% of Americans, do not know. We are a small portion being affected by this. And for those who aren't, when they find out what's going on, they become interested. And that's why we need to get out in our communities more. That's why we need to, start talking this up. If you're taking, rides from somebody, and, the more information you get out there, the more people will actually stand up with us. I never thought I had to go through this.
No, no one does. By me, man. I would have done 5 years ago if you asked me this is where I was going to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
No way in hell would I have told you that this is where I'm going to be right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, for 12 years, I've been fighting. 12
Wow.
years I've been fighting.
That's crazy. You, Gunner, would you have thought that you would have been doing this?
No. Never expected in a million years. And I think at least we had somewhat of an idea of at least our rights to keep our heads and wits about us. Once it got to a certain point, it was just like, this is not a courtroom. This is not constitutional. Any bit of it. I mean, especially when you have judges and magistrates look at you and basically tell you on the record, we don't deal with constitutional issues in this courtroom, knowing they lost jurisdiction, and they continue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got enough sense to that of saying, I know that ain't right, let alone due process, no jury. Even when they want to do I mean, they're not chasing sometimes misdemeanors or anything else. I mean, sometimes they're doing criminal court in a civil courtroom. Well, we're allowed to do that. They're looking for the loophole. Yeah, but even in a civil code violation, criminal is required to have a trial by jury.
Yeah.
Hello, due process?
Well, not only that, two of the biggest things that don't happen within family court settings is those who are found to have been caught in lies, who lied under oath. They're not held accountable for their actions. That's one of the biggest things right there.
Well,
and
they cover it up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the second one is the whole fact of the matter. If there is direct evidence of somebody abusing a child, why aren't charges being filed against that person?
Yes, there it is. Where is the actual criminal charges?
Yep.
Instead, they use the theory that you could be a danger to your child, which is the reason why they withhold your child from you. That theory, that's the thing. That's a theory. It can't be proven.
They're bringing their prejudice with them. There are reported cases of people that are religious one way and others that are not, that claim to be the other, that will go after there and target those kids and say, we feel because of your religious beliefs, it's a danger to the children. And they condone it under, the flag of, we'll say, what they call Christianity. And that's not here in America. You get to choose how you want to do, so long as you're not hurting another person. And that is your opinion of hurting a child. And it's none of your damn business, because that's done in the sanctity of either your home and or anything else. But at the same time, they're trying to say your culture, your belief system, all those things that you want to pass on to your children are not good enough, or it doesn't meet the government standard. And the very fact of that alone is unconstitutional.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, that's why we're pushing to, get those accountability, for lying under oath, because it is a crime to lie under oath. So therefore, again, why aren't charges being filed? So, and it's
because if you expose part of the system and you go down the long road, and I got
you can be charged for falsifying court documents. And that's another thing. Matter of fact, I don't remember what state it was in. I want to say it was Midwest, though, if I'm not mistaken. where caseworkers were literally being charged for falsifying court documents to steal children out of homes.
Yeah, well, that's what's his name? Gobi, right? That's his name. Uh, Gosh, we had him on here on the show with us. I'm having a brain cramp. Help me out here, Gunner. What's the guy's name? You know him too, Brian. Who's the guy that wrote that bill out in Missouri?
Mark Ludwig?
Not Mark Ludwig. I want to see his name uh,
Finkel?
we just
Something-
talked about him on the last show too. Just feel worried. You got, taken out.
I'm not
Um,
sure.
Right. Taken out. But he wrote that bill. Why we had him on the damn it. Why can't I think of his name? It's I'm an asshole. I can't believe I can't think of this. It'll come to me. Gabe Woolley. There we go. That was a brain cramp there. So he's writing that bill that is telling you to you are putting those caseworkers in jail. They are liable for the misinformation that they're leaving. And it's about time. Now this guy was like a freshman, politician coming in, and he pulled his pants right down. He showed him what he had, being a freshman like that. He came right in there. That's his, like, look, here's what we're gonna do, guys. He's not waiting around for nothing. This guy's going for it, big coat of big kajunis right there, man.
Stabbing in D.C. today? No. But their stabbing is going on all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at the kid that got stabbed at the track and field meet.
Yeah.
What
It's all
happened?
coming to a head, man. They're showing themselves.
There's a track and field meet that was happening, and apparently this kid was standing in the wrong area, and the kid literally pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death.
Jesus.
It's just like that girl beat the hell
The
out of
father
the
was
other girl
actually
on the
just
phone.
speaking this morning on Fox 5.
Mhm.
Man, it's crazy, absolutely insane.
Absolutely
But
nuts.
you're not
Keep
safe anywhere.
sending
No
your
one's
kids
safe.
to public school and look at what you get.
But again, this is happening everywhere, not just our schools, but everywhere. Yes, they are definitely using fear to manipulate. Yep. Here's the whole fact of the matter. And I'll actually be addressing this on Thursday when I actually speak at the event. They pin parents against each other. They want the parents to be pinned against each other. They want us at each other's throats. Because the longer they keep us in, the longer they keep the knot tied around our children, the more federal funding they get under Title IV.
Right. And the more they can just keep breaking it off, and adding more to it, and more to it, and more to it, and the more in depth it gets, the more complicated it gets. Now there's just language over money and money over language. Really, that's all you're getting. Like, oh, okay, well, we better throw this in there too because, and then we got to throw this in there. But you read the original and the basis of Title E, they somewhat had it right. I mean, Title IV, they had it right. It was about reunification. It was about, that's the only way that you're obtaining money. Is if you're attempting to reunify your child. Now that's gone, so there goes a lock off your door. It's just.
I'm actually going to look that up. Hold on, because 7 stabbed in Northeast Washington. You know what? Northeast Washington is not a good place to be anyway.
No.
I've never been there. Not just the 7th Ave, but Washington. I've been on the outside of it. I've been within miles, but never been actually to it.
Yeah. Well, here it says 6 people. They might be adding in the person who actually did the stabbing. Man arrested after stabbing spree that led 6 people injured. Wow.
That's right.
And
For all you gun control nuts out there, yes, look, he used a knife and not a gun to kill people and go after them.
Well, it says that he stabbed himself along with 6 others.
Stage strapped or get
It's
clapped.
nuts.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, a man stabbed himself and several other people in Northeast DC Thursday afternoon, according to Metropolitan Police. The suspect was under the influence of something when he stabbed himself and the woman he was walking with along Montello Avenue near Ram Street in the Trinidad neighborhood, police said.
Right.
Then he stabbed random people on the street, including a grandmother getting into a car with her grandchild. Police, two guns. A Good Samaritans attempted to intervene. Also were stabbed. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be a good Samaritan.
Well, in a lot of those areas too, they've been massively overtaken. If you follow the history in Washington, even in the Portland area, they just let it go to hell. I mean, it was free needles, free this, free that, encouraging drug use and homelessness and everything else in those areas.
Oh yeah,
Just flushing people out. And then there was, nobody wanted to be there because it looked like you had a shop or something. And some of the areas, basically in the middle of a garbage heap or a cesspool, it's like most people compared it to the early stages of Haiti. And that's pretty bad. I mean, and you go from beautiful forest and all these other things are there. When you go to civilization, it's just a cesspool. It's like, what happened? Where's this grand idea you had to do all this stuff? And this was going to be the wave of the future and this, that, and we'll give everybody what they want. And guess who runs those places now? It ain't the people. Yeah. That's exactly what they want. They have total control of those cities. And then California telling police officers not to arrest people. It's okay if you steal $5,000 worth of stuff or this or that. It's okay. It's good. Why would you want a business there? I mean, that's where the businesses need to take it smarten up and just say, we're closing our doors and we're done. Y'all can starve. You all can do without. You think it's any different?
3 hours ago. I mean, there's always bomb scares in DC. That's nothing new. That is absolutely nothing new with that.
No.
Yeah, I really haven't watched much of the news at all the last 2 days, especially today. I've been doing nothing but, checking all the gear, make sure all the speaker wires are working, make sure none of them were damaged, making sure the soundboard was working properly, working on Streamlabs for when I record the whole event outside. So I've been doing a bunch of stuff. Haven't been really watching too much TV at all.
You ain't missing much, and even then, what's the point of it? You get more on social media and cut out all the bullshit than you do sitting there watching a half hour full of horseshit.
Yeah. But yeah, don't let that fear you. From coming out to DC, because those are happening in select areas. I lived in and around DC practically all my life. Besides when I served in the Marine Corps, I was stationed down.
Well, now hasn't that changed yet, though? Now, Brian, isn't it now called the District of America?
No.
Okay.
They tried to get it to be another state, but it's not. It's still the District of Columbia, but it's not a state. It's just the capital of the U.S.
Well, there's a lot of special rules that go on for DC.
Yes. Well, let me put it this way. I've done and hosted events on the Capitol grounds. I've done it on Park Police grounds. I've done it on city grounds. Literally, you could be standing in one area, take a step forward, you're in Capitol Police grounds. Take a step backwards, you're in city police. Take a step to the left or right, you could be in Park Police. It's it's hit or miss. So who you got to get permits through? But it's amazing.
Gets to be a little confusing. Wondering why they made it that confusing, though.
Well, no. This person's like, well, then damn, it's important to me. Well, yeah, it is important, but don't let it stop you from living your life. Don't let it stop you from going out and protesting. Don't fear the mongrels that are out there, because
No.
it can happen at your house.
Yeah, find whatever sources you want to use. That is completely your choice to receive some of your information. Once again, any information you hear, please do your research, vet it, make sure it's true, because you remember a lot of those are propaganda or a spin on a story, and maybe you're not getting the whole story, or you're only getting what they want you to know or hear. Um, and that's well known in the media, especially nowadays. So be careful. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of redirect. They're trying to soften things right now, especially in Texas, um, where they've passed all these wonderful laws, for child protective services. But it doesn't change the fact that nobody was fired because they got caught doing all the things that they were stopping and doing, passing the laws to. Why didn't nobody get fired, Texas? There's our question. It's still the same criminals doing the same shit. Just because you told them, slap on the wrist and go, oh, wait, don't break constitutional rights, and we'll just let you go back to work is, yeah, I trust that 100% there, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cover. That's
yeah.
cover up to save a broken system that should not exist.
Absolutely. I'm important that we're reaching out to me.
Oh.
But yeah, no, the world is nuts. It doesn't matter where you go. It's like I came from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and moved to Delaware last year, and even just working in the mall that I worked at, anything was possible. I mean, we had shootings, we had people getting stabbed. We actually had a guy get killed, literally right in front of our store that I used to work at.
Well,
So nowhere safe.
so what happened?
How strict are the gun laws in those states too?
Maryland, they're extremely strict. You have to go through an extensive background check to even get a gun. In Delaware, it's not. Delaware, literally, all you have to have is a Delaware ID, and literally, you could go pick up a handgun that day.
Right.
They do a check on you, but it comes back within minutes.
So, how do you feel that that's going to affect some of these areas then? Because it has passed the House of national reciprocation of concealed carry. In other words, other states cannot deny other states to conceal carry in their states, such as I believe it is Maryland that has that issue that you have to have your weapon separate. Yeah, their rights are just exclusive for their residents.
Well, in Maryland, yes. If you're traveling, your ammo is going to be separate. Either your handheld or your rifle is going to be in the trunk, and the ammo is going to be in the glove department. You can't have them together. I think that's the most stupidest rule ever, especially if you are legally allowed to carry. I'm legally allowed to carry, and do I? Maybe not. I'm not saying if I do or not.
FAFO, right?
But I have that legal right to do so. Well, it's just, YouTube, Facebook, if you say anything about weapons or anything, they're going to want to shut you down. So very careful.
Well, I mean, going into that, because there is that one stretch of interstate that is known that goes through several parts of the states. I've been through it myself.
Oh, 95.
Yeah, 95, and you go through there, and they do checks all of a sudden, any weapons in the car, and it's bam, bam, bam. Yeah, and they want you to say, yeah, I got a concealed carry. That once again, they trap you to incriminate yourself on an unlawful.
Well, actually, by federal law, if you get stopped, you're supposed to identify that you have either a concealed carry or a carry permit.
Yes, that is national. But like I said, the issue is that it's a setup trap to pull you over of what's your reasonable articulated suspicion or what's your reasonable articulated fact, instead of, well, I think you were speaking. Well, then you need to prove your reasonable articulated thing to me here on the side of the road before we go forward, but once again, it's just a little bit overreach, some overreach here and there. And that's the way it's not supposed to be. The Constitution is not negotiable.
Yeah. No, I'll admit, I'll go to the range. I'm perfectly fine with going to the range. I use some range therapy every once in a while. You know, I'm a veteran. Of course, I'm going to go to the range and shoot off some
Well,
rounds.
I mean, if you think about it, if that goes that way, you're arming the idea is arming the citizen. Everybody said, well, you're going to have so much. No, because you're going to think twice before you go into an area. And like I said, including with concealed carry, especially with these buildings that say you can't come in like these malls, it's like, well, then show me your insurance, because you can't
Well,
post that sign unless you've got that insurance saying that if something happens to me, and you have to prove that upon request. And no, I will not leave because you're not compliant. I mean, you got to know how to fight. I mean, you know, and be educated.
well, I know here in Delaware, I see it day in and day out, especially where I work. I work in a retail store, and I'm in one of the outlets, and you know, there's not a day that goes by where I don't see people carrying, their handgun on their hip. You know, and it's visible. You know, they probably don't have a concealed carry, so it's got to be visible. As long as it's visible, you're legal.
Right.
But people carry here in Delaware, and Delaware is a blue state.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We just had this one of the senators on the earlier show on Tiff and the Punisher. Eric Buxton. He's on there. He's with the Delaware House, and he's he's an up and coming. He's still very by appearance and talking to him. He's still pretty in the learning years of how this stuff works and everything. But he's going to gun for CPS, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it amazes me though, because everyone says they're afraid of guns. Not everyone is afraid of a gun. Matter of fact, there are people out there who don't want to possess a gun, but hope that there's somebody is, so if something does go down, at least that person who has one can, do what's necessary to take down the intruder. So, it's all open for an individual's interpretation on how they see it. Are there people
in other countries, when
Yeah.
they have gathering places like that, believe it or not, they actually mount the weapons, AK-47s, inside restaurants and everything else to protect the people, so it doesn't spin off. Once again, but of course, everybody flipping out if you've got an AR slung, in a 3-point, and it's just one of the, oh my gosh, you're carrying that, it's going to discharge, it's going to magically go off, it's going to, well, you got to this and that. I'm like, man, if you know that's around, I mean, how is that any different than police officers? And most of your police officers nowadays, they got so much shit, they look like a damn SWAT team, even just a regular, and they're supposed to be peace officers.
Well, my whole biggest thing is I love when somebody says, oh, well, you have an automatic weapon. Like when they talk about AR, I said, do you know even what AR stands for? It's like, Jesus Christ. It's the name of the manufacturer. That's all it is the name of the manufacturer.
Armalite rifle.
Yep.
Or my fun thing is, what's the other one? Well, then they have like this 50-round clip, and I'm like, there's a clip, those are stripper clips, and no, that's a mag.
Yep, it's a mag.
This is a firing pin. And you listen to the stupidest shit come out of people's mouths. This is the mysterious ghost gun. It shoots so many rounds and this and that per minute and over here and all this other stuff. And you're just over here going, dude, I know that one inside and out, and you're as dumb as dog shit.
Yeah.
That ain't what that is. No, it's not.
All the automatic weapons that are in the world today are not even allowed to be possessed by civilians.
Well, they do, but they take a background check, an FFL, and a tax stamp.
Yeah. However, they can't carry it out in town. They can only transport it to and from ranges.
Depends on the licensing, because there are some that you can get, such as a manufacturer or instructor, that yes, you can transport and have them open.
Oh shit!
Jesus, the cats are going at it up there.
I knew it was that damn cat.
It's freaking. Did you see the earlier show?
Yeah, I saw you jump.
Somebody show that. Well, there's so one of them is let's just say it's that time of the
natural cycle of life.
And I don't need any, and like they're up there and they're attacking them, so I keep coming over and trying to push this to get them to stop without blatantly just. But each pass, I'm getting more and more angry at the at the event here. Thank goodness for
Water,
the
water
fixed
bottle
feed
with squirt
program.
bottle, dude. It works every time.
Oh,
Dogs and cats. There you go, buddy.
there you go.
Hey,
Yeah.
what the hell is that, Darren? Come on, dude. You got to at least have some kind of battery operated or rechargeable. I mean, full on squirt gun, super soaker 9000.
Oh yeah, like one of those
Oh,
ones
yeah,
with
you
a
motherfucker.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yep, I should too.
Well, you talking about water guns. I know you guys are probably around the same age, maybe a little older than me. I'm only 43, and I remember growing up in school. Doing the elementary, middle, and high school when you're doing field day or something like that. You're out doing, and you're out there running with squirt guns. You can't even use squirt guns in schools these days anymore.
I don't even think kids know what they are.
My kids do.
Right?
I made sure they know what water guns are, what Nerf guns are, but I also taught them, the purpose of what real guns are and the purpose for what they are used for, and that these are just toys, and that they don't use real ones unless they intend to actually take a life, and that is either human or animal.
I'll tell you what, every city person out there should spend at least 6 months in their teenage years on a damn farm and see how life really damn works.
Learn how it is to work and to have money and to pay for yourself.
Up in the morning, you're dead at night, you're covered in mud and shit and everything. You just want to get that shower. You don't even sometimes care about no damn supper at the end of the day. And you're just, everybody's like, oh, don't you get heavy supper and this and that. I'm like, man, we did some shit out there. Especially some of them boys that bale hay and some of that other stuff. Like,
oh shit, I can only imagine. Yeah.
Tired as hell.
Boys. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can only imagine.
Mucking stalls, one thing, was slinging them hay bales, man. That's a whole different.
Mucking stalls.
I told a buddy, I said, fuck that shit. I'll drive the tractor. You motherfuckers sling that shit. I'm smarter, work smarter, not harder.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They was younger than I was.
I grew up with horses and cows and, working the fields, tobacco fields. So
I think every person should be exposed to it because, I mean, the stupid shit out of people's mouths that would come out of, well, why kill food or why go hunt or why go do this? Just go to the grocery store. Somebody's got to kill it, dumbass, and cut it up and chop it and process it and all that other stuff. You pay a fee at the grocery store so you don't have to.
Yep.
Do you know what the cost difference is versus raising the shit on your own thing versus you got to go to the store every time to get it? Big difference.
Yep, a huge difference. I know my parents, they live down in Florida now, but they come up to Virginia once a year and they buy a cow, have a butcher it right there. And literally they're taking all that meat back with them and they're saving from going to the grocery store. And not to mention it's a lot healthier too because you don't have all the pesticides and antibiotics.
It doesn't have to be USDA. They're selling direct to the customer. You're buying what the way they do that is you literally buy the cow and you pay the processor is what it comes down to. Yep. So that's how they legally do it. The only other legally way that they could do it if farmers were actually smart was do a direct to customer sale with a farm share because you can't interfere with a farm share. That was the big thing in Pennsylvania. The Amish guy caught with all the milk and stuff like that is he didn't have a farm share in place and he was selling to the general public. So the USDA came in and says, nope, you're selling to the public. You're doing it just like the rest. And of course, big corporation come in. You got to follow the rules if you're going to do this and wiped him out, busted everything in possession. Could he start over again and do with farm share? Yep. But I guarantee you that's an expensive business lesson he learned.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, we need to get back to the homegrown roots. Growing your own food, shooting your own food. These people the biggest thing that I think is funny, there was a video I saw where literally you see two people putting roses down on the beef inside the store. And the other guy comes and picks up the steak with the rose because, ooh, Got a rose with my dinner.
How romantic.
I was like, I love it.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, it's just.
Hey, you know you got the right woman when you come home with a fucking cow and 2 roses. Game
Yep.
on. Look, baby, just for you. The butcher said thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you so thoughtful. But yeah, no, we definitely need to get to the homegrown roots again. We need to get the family courts out of our family homes. We need to get CPS out of the family homes, because that right there, that's what's destroying the true value of the family structure. That's a simple fact of the matter.
And how many CPS workers are going into rich people's homes and all these other things that are going behind the closed doors of all the filthy rich, of all this other stuff? I mean, hell, instead they look at them as superheroes. Here we have access to people like Diddy. We'll take you to a Diddy party, and hey, it's a celebrity, and look what all you get to do with CPS is we drop you off over here, and you get to hang out with all these cool people, and that's a cool thing you get to tell all your friends till you realize you're on the damn menu.
Yeah. No. And that's the whole thing. Nobody really knows when it's going to happen. It will happen in a split of a second. One allegation that is said against you to CPS,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be knocking at your door.
And if most people realized if they took and came in your house and forced your way in your house with no court order, warrant, or imminent danger, you have every right to use your Second Amendment according to the Constitution and take care of that marauder real quick. But wait, we have all this talk about, oh, well, gun right. Well, there's a reason, because they're softening you up so you don't use it, because if you knew your rights and everybody was taught their rights, we'd have a whole lot more, the other side real fast. What are you going to do? Argue in a court of law? Show me the warrant or court order. If it was imminent danger, did the person make a call to the police department as the national standard requires? In other words, the federal standard for social workers? No. Sounds like a breaking and entering. Abuse of power.
Well, I know in Maryland they stopped doing no-knock warrants. And I don't know if you've heard about this one. It was actually at a birthday party, a 5-year-old's birthday party. They were down in the basement, and the police in Maryland decided to want to do a no-knock warrant. It was the wrong house to begin with. But they literally started breaking down this door at this literally 5-year-old's birthday party, and there was a bunch of little kids around. Well, the owner of the house, the father of the child, literally pulled a shotgun, and the first officer that came through the door, he shot him. Killed him.
There you go. Justified.
And because of that, they are not allowed to do no more no-knock warrants.
And because that guy knew his rights to call bullshit on all of them and the illegal entry, there ain't a damn thing they could do.
Yep.
There's them cats again.
There it goes again.
Man.
Darren, you got problems with pussy, son.
I know. I sure as hell do, man. These son of the bitches. God damn.
How many cops have CPS corrupted? You know what? It's hard to tell.
Darren's got 100 problems.
Yeah.
99.
Yeah, I do. I sure as hell do, man.
Yeah, CPS is evil. CPS is definitely evil. Family courts.
There's a lot that's going to start coming out. I would say comfortably to tell you guys, and I can't comment anymore, but in the next 2 to 3 weeks, there's going to be some major changes. And I think all this attempt to cover CPS and everything else, it's not going to be good enough. It's just not. And there's some massive stuff going on. And when it pops, trust me, you'll know. A lot of the information, we're going to try and work it out to, we're going to try and cover it the best we can. Once again, not interfering with things, but we are working it out to actually get to where that will be, when that announcement comes, it will be on the CPS breaking news network.
Hell yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
So there's more going on. That listen. There's a lot of people working a lot of things and a lot of angles and this and that, and some are gaining some ground and this and that, and some people are just playing really cool. And there's a reason, and there's people that are standing out alone that don't want to join movements or anything else because, like I said, that's what these lawyers are looking for, is somebody that actually has a case. And what's the percentage rate for an attorney to take and win on a case, a civil court case, federal civil case? What's it, 30%, 40% maximum, Darren?
See
You know that?
for what?
What's the most an attorney can take and collect on attorney fees off of the winnings in a federal civil case?
30, 40%, 33%, something like that.
33%, yeah. So there are limits that go with that, but once again,
what is no, go on, Gordon.
Well, and my other thing is this is I think there's going to be a lot of questions raised of, we have all these lawyers and judges and everything else, and I think what it's going to come down to is they knew about it. They did nothing about it because it made them a profit. And when people begin to understand how this whole Ponzi scheme is put together deeply, it's going to blow your mind, because you're going to see how everything's interchanged. It's directly connected to the corporation, deep state, whatever you want to call it. It is the underbelly, is the thing that they wanted the most, was to get a hold of our children, and they did. This goes all the way back to that same thing that, that killed Kennedy, when Lyndon took and had him killed. I mean, that was that corporation. Kennedy was looking to blow the whistle on all this stuff of the mass corruption. And we can trace CPS. You can trace them back. Not just that, but the Department of Health and Human Family Services, all the way back to sanitariums. I mean, you need to have a good look of where CPS originated. Go back to sanitariums in your state, because they were run by the same department that now runs CPS. And if you look at that, that was people that had Down syndrome, autism. If your wife was acting up and she was crazy, they would literally take her in a sanitarium, and you should see the devices. And no, I'm not kidding. They would literally masturbate them to death because of hysteria. I'm not kidding. The devices are out there. The information's out there. Or they would continually check them in and rape them and drug them. The children that were being born were undocumented. They were shipped off in some states off to California and other states here. That it's been well documented in the past. They didn't fire any of these people. They just jumped into a different thing within the same division to use the same title funding, because that Title IV also took care of the sanitariums and the people that had autism and Down syndrome and several other conditions. They've been in this fund for a long, long time. That's why it's so insulated and nobody can get into it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I mean, the stuff that went on there. Look up the International Down Syndrome Society published a letter on the sanitariums, if you look for it, and it will tell you how they even they did human testing in those facilities. The big pharma companies did. So they would do those experiments on humans in your sanitariums because they weren't considered humans or citizens. So they had every right, they thought, to take and do that. And yes, it's documented. Some of the worst ones were outside Nashville, Tennessee. Another one, I'm trying to think, what was there was another one, I think, in one of the a big one in the colonial states that was huge. I mean, it was a huge sanitarium. As a matter of fact, Maine's got a huge one. And the stuff that went on there, I mean, you should, serious, man, but they want to eliminate the history. That's the point. If the history's gone and they tear down, they remove it from the books, they tear down the statues, they remove all the stuff for it, The history's gone. Their perspective stays, and nobody can argue with it because there's no evidence to argue the otherwise. We are seeing somebody trying to take over our republic, and has been, and has control of it. Not anymore, though.
Right.
Because now game's on.
This game's 100% full on.
Yeah.
Full on, man. Full on.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I do got to hop off. I just want to remind everybody that literally April 7th through the 11th, come to DC. Come join us for the Family Forum Project's event of Title IV reform. So, like I said, Monday there's going to be stuff that's going to be happening in the Capitol building. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to be out at Area 5 across from Union Station on Capitol grounds. That'll start at 12 and go until about 5, 6 o'clock, depending on how long the speakers go. We don't necessarily have time limits for our speaking, but they said keep it to, try not to go too long. But there's going to be about 3 speakers per hour. So yeah, it's going to be about 20-minute speeches. If that, some people want to get up there for a short period of time. But definitely come out and join us through the 7th through the 11th, and bring your signs, bring your chairs, and and join us. Help us continue to spread the awareness and get change. That's what this event is for, is to bring awareness and bring change. So thank you guys. I really do appreciate you allowing me to come on tonight, and definitely looking forward to being with you guys in the future.
All right, Brad. Cool, man.
Right,
we'll get you on the next. Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
Have a good one, Brad. I love him. He's great, man. Who you got in the back here waiting for? Someone? I don't know.
That's your screen.
Those freaking cats, man. I tell you, they're going to be death of me. Dang.
He did it all for the nookie.
Yeah, for the nookie. Yeah, the nookie. Did it all for the nookie. Hey, facts over lies. No one here is making fun of you. No one here thinks that you're a dumb piece of shit.
Man.
No one thinks any of that. I don't know where this even comes from, but I don't want you to feel like you don't belong here. I don't want you to feel like if you ask a question that seems whatever, and it is what it is. It's answered. If we walk by a question 9 out of 10 times or a comment or something like it means that we're busy into some other mind thought. By no means are any of us out here picking down any of our customers. That's the last and the furthest thing from the truth that we want.
And remember what we're doing too as hosts. We are to spark conversation. And that's the whole point, is to have that open conversation from different points of views, and even have those tough conversations, because that's what we need to be opening, is those lines of communication and seeing all perspectives, not just a narrow perspective. So please keep that in mind. Also, I've had that happen to me also, where people say, oh, is this? Yeah, it's a tough conversation to have, but we need to have it because it's constitutionally protected. So keep that in mind too. We're not encouraging a lot of it. Everybody, we do have guests on the show. They have their opinions. Once again, that's what this is for. This is for entertainment and education. Do your own research. Your case is unique to itself. Go figure it out for yourself. And these are just, some ideas that you could possibly use. So please don't take that way. And I've had that happen a lot. I know Darren's had it happen a lot. And that's just one of those things. This is a talk show. This is meant to spark conversation. Ask some you may have Darren. I had Darren ask a question a couple of times on the show. I'm like, damn, dude, that's like on the opposite side of the coin. But see, that's the beauty of debate, is looking at both sides, and to spark that conversation and ask the question that we may be asked. Well, what about this? Well, I don't feel that's fair. Well, it's for the protection of the kids. It doesn't matter. So long as when it violates constitutional rights, that's where the line is. You don't cross it, no matter who it's for. There's no excuse. I mean, and that's been ruled on time and time and time again. Don't get caught up in the false flag, because there was a country that did. That's called Germany. You better go look at it. Hitler's Youth. Go look at it. Darren, you look like you're about wore out, unless the cats are going.
I've been reading these documents all day, man. I'm tired. I'm ready for a good night's rest, and just put the documents away, turn off the computers. You know what I'm saying? And just hit it.
I thought you were doing that last night.
No, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Everybody come around knocking on the door.
No, last night was, listen, last night's going, we got big things coming, Gunner. We got real big things coming. And, yeah, well, stay to the end here. We'll talk here for a quick second.
That's good.
So let's do some last thoughts, my man.
Constitution, 100%, and teach your children, because the government actors and elected and appointed officials do not want you to be smart and know your rights, because it's how they take advantage of you. So Constitution.
Yep. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, like it or not, we're in this fight, and we don't have a choice but to be in this fight. And we're gonna win this fight. This is it. We are at DEFCON 12, and we're gonna take this right to the end. So, get the boots on, pull them up, because the shit's gonna get pretty thick here, and we'll all be in it together anyway until the end, because we're not stopping until this is over. They're already trying to escalate this and take out those of our comrades and our friends, and even our foes. They're trying to highlight and take out, and let's not let them do this. Let us make a ton of noise so that they know what the name of this group is, or any other of these groups. But I'm just meaning like the CPS movement group anyway, the anti-CPS movement group, as it's called. I just, you know what, you guys are really the parts that are going to make this thing work. We're going to make it work. You just got to hang in there. Let's put your heads down, grab the freaking pedals, and let's hit the gas, guys, because this is what we've been waiting for. Whether you've been here for 1 day or 30 years, this is the time, and everybody's saying it, that this is where the momentum is. I know of a lot of things that are going down, and I'm hoping that at least one of these many things that are going down will work. It has to. Just because there's just no way it shouldn't. We got the right people in office to make this stuff happen. We just got to pray a little bit harder, love a little bit harder, think a little bit harder, and fight like a motherfucker. That being said, I'm the CPS Punisher. We are out of here. Have a good night, everybody. And always when I make a bad comment, this never works.
The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. Waking up now, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country, and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't a featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate, marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troops door, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpent.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you
I know
now.
the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. The deflected by some breaking news. Oh, we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass, half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome my position, or I'm gonna start resisting, and then I pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
And as always, we say here, let's go, Brandon. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.